Okay, so I'm going to show you how to start your coloring book page assignment, and we're going to create a new document in Adobe Draw. I've already created the document, but I want to show you how to do that again. Come down here to, first let me show them my touches, sorry. Come down here to the plus bar and our plus button, and I'm going to choose either standard book landscape or standard book portrait, whatever is the correct orientation for the image that you're choosing from your thumbnail. So for me, I chose the standard book landscape, which I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so I have my drawing already set up here so I can show you exactly what I did. So what I first did was I brought in an image layer. So I tapped on the plus button, I tapped on image layer, and I selected my iPad. And on my iPad, I selected the photo image that I wanted to bring in from my sketch. So we did our thumbnails first, and then you created your sketch. You're going to be using your detailed sketch as your underdrawing for your coloring book page. So for me, what I did was I brought it in and I made it the size that I wanted, by pinching the screen, and I hit select. Now I'm going to delete that layer because I want to show you what it looks like for me down here. When I brought it in, I tapped on the opacity, I tapped on the image layer, and I brought my opacity down. This is what my sketch looks like normal. I brought it down to about 50%. That was easiest for me so that I could still see through what I was doing on my draw layers to draw. So what I did next was I created my first fish. I have a time lapse so you guys can see this whole thing come together, but I created my fish basically where I drew it on my sketch, just on a different layer. It's really, really, really important that I never draw on that image layer that I brought in, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to delete it or erase it without erasing the image that I currently drew. So then after I drew that fish, I drew my second fish. Now instead of drawing this over and over again to get the two fish that I have in the middle, all I did was come in and tap on the layer, hit duplicate, and then tap on it again and hit transform. And I click and drag out, and now I have the same fish. I can make it smaller, I can make it larger, I can flip it horizontal, I can flip it vertical, I can move it around my composition, whatever I want to do with it. So for me, I came in then and created duplicates of both of those fish, and then laid them out and made them in the circular composition that I was using them to make it a little bit more of a circular composition. I was going to originally have just two fish, and then I decided that I wanted to make more on the inside. So then what I did was I came in and I started to create circles in the background, similar to what I had on my sketch. Now I came in and I changed the color of my pen tool to gray. You don't have to, I just wanted it because I wanted to make it look like it was behind the images that I had on the top. And then I decided that I want to come in and lay some bubbles in. So you can see that I wanted to keep adding more bubbles and more bubbles to where I felt like I had enough covering the back of what I wanted. And then I double tap to make the image layer go away, and I have my finished coloring page. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to my open button, and I'm going to hit share image, and I'm going to save that image to my camera roll, and I'm going to use that to upload to my assignment. Take a look at the time lapse to see a step-by-step quick video of how I did the whole coloring book page.